welcome to Big Blend Radio's Food, Wine, and Travel Show, where we go across country and travel the world with members of the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. Let's go. Welcome, everybody. You know we love our food, wine, travel shows with the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association that we call IFWTWA. And today we're excited to chat with one of the members, travel writer members, because they also have destination members. And if you're in the world of food, wine, travel, you got to become a member. So check them out at IFWTWA.org. But we've got Terrie Guthrie back on the show. She's a travel journalist based in Dallas, Texas, and her husband travel. He does all the geek work behind the scenes, but he's super cool. His name is Ron. And anyway, go to her website, travelwithterri.com, and that's Terri. Today, she's going to tell us about Camp Creek Inn. This is a very unique hidden coastal escape in Florida, actually in our old backyard. We used to live out in between, we did Panama City, Pensacola, and Fort Walton Beach and Navarre. So this was in our backyard years ago. But welcome to the show. How are you doing, Terri? It's good to have you back.
Thrilled to be back. Thank you for having me today.
It's great to have you back. And, it's really cool about this being, in my old backyard. And it's such a beautiful area of the coastline. There's dolphins, that beautiful water.
Yes.
But this is a different, when it's Camp Creek Inn, you think a little inn, but this seems to be a completely like they're almost underselling it in a way. Does that make sense? Kind of like a quiet, hidden, little escape.
Right. It really kind of underplays it, like you said. And the reason where it got its name is there actually is a creek that runs through the property, and that's the name of the creek. It's called Camp Creek. So that's where the name came from. But it is absolutely a little hidden gem of a beautiful little sanctuary that is just surrounded by pine trees on thousands of acres. Actually, it's much bigger than you can even imagine, but yet it's just a hop and a skip to the beach. And so, and they have shuttle service that take you right to their Watersound Beach Club. That is amazing.
This is the thing, because of the pine trees. That's the beauty of northern Florida. The Gulf,
Yes.
The Gulf shores. Really that whole beautiful area.
Right.
And that we don't realize that there's all of that nature. There's forests, and then it goes right on to the coast. And like you're saying, this is unique in that they have this member stay program that I want to talk about, because I think this is kind of unique because there's treats. It's called Member for a Stay. And everyone, Terri's got an article up on blendradioandtv.com. So that is linked in the episode notes. And you can go also right to the website that we're talking about for Camp Creek Inn. Go to campcreekin.com, also linked in the episode notes. And this is like such an easy area to get to as well. But so beautiful. But this Member for a Stay is quite a cool program that, it's like, it's you got treats every day. Like I want to talk about the treats.
Right. Well, I'll tell you about the treats. And then I want to tell you more about the Member for the Stay, where you understand that, because it's so unique. But the treat, there's a place there in the inn, which is just 75 rooms, I believe. So it's,
so it
relatively
is like
small.
It is small, but you have this huge experience. Is what's so unique.
Oh yeah. There's so much to tell about it. But something that they have there, Lisa, that I have never seen before. There's several very unique things about Camp Creek Inn. And let me tell you, throughout my years of travel, I've stayed in hundreds, if not 1,000 hotels. I have never seen this before. It's called the Treat Suite. And every floor has it. And you walk in and it's like every floor. Yeah, it's not just on one floor. And it's the size of a small kitchen, and just happened to be conveniently across from our room. And we had our little grandsons. So we visited it often. But it has everything, any kind of snack imaginable, but healthy stuff too, like, granola and protein bars. And then they had a great coffee machine that made gourmet coffees and teas and hot chocolate. And then you had refrigerated things like where you could get yogurt or they had, of course, a lot of fresh fruit and then
Nice.
ice cream. Like when we would
Oh,
come in
wait a
the
minute.
afternoons, they
Did you,
loved that.
ice cream? You
Cream
get,
sandwiches and things.
oh,
Yes.
you said
And,
sandwich. You said ice cream sandwich, one of my favorite things on the planet.
oh, I know.
Really?
I think it's that Blue Bunny brand. And our grandsons, they had never had anything quite like that. It was such a huge hit. This was such a genius idea. And what's crazy is that it's completely complimentary and it's open 24 hours a day. So you just
I
walk
could
in
have 2
and
sandwiches if I wanted.
it's amazing. It is
I could
just
have a
amazing.
before and after dinner snack of ice cream if I
Right.
wanted.
Yeah. And then what we would do, of course, they had plates and silverware and cups and all that kind of stuff. We would just, load up our plates and then go and sit on our balcony and overlook the beautiful grounds and have a great little snack. And it was so perfect for
Oh,
coming in
wait,
and the,
wine time. Oh,
yes,
were the
perfect. And
snacks good for wine time? Like,
yeah,
was there,
oh yeah, oh yeah.
oh,
All
that's
kind of
important.
good. I can't tell
Oh,
you the variety of things. They've thought of everything. And yeah, maybe this will be something that'll catch on with other hotels because it was a huge hit for not only our family, but every guest we saw, everybody was talking about it, or when we would see
well,
someone in
it's like
there.
you are the kid in the candy store.
I know, I know,
100%.
I know. I mean, our little grandson's eyes were this big,
Like,
especially
yeah,
when
let's
they found
party.
out it was free, that
Yeah,
was
because
just
when you go in
crazy.
hotels and if you open the mini bar fridge, you're getting docked even just for looking.
Yes,
You
yes.
don't, you want to see what's in there, but if you open that bar, an alarm's gonna go off or your bank account's gonna get taken away. You know, if it's a
Yes,
mini
yes.
bar with me, that could happen. But,
Yeah, this
so
is the bomb. I'm telling you, we just loved it. But that's all part of the experience here. So let me tell you a little bit about members for a stay. So
yeah.
the whole property really is the Watersound Club, and this is part of a big development company in the Panhandle of Florida called the St. Joe Company.
Hmm.
From they've been doing this for years and have been very successful, and I feel like everything they do is just first class all the way. They just do some excellent things. They have some beautiful neighborhoods and then several hotels, but this Camp Creek Inn is like none other. This is something so unique. So it sits on, like I said, I believe they told me 2,000 acres. It's huge. So
Wow.
the property's huge. You don't see it all because some of it, is are the golf courses that they have. They have 3 different golf courses, 18-hole championship golf courses, and even a golf performance center where we got to take golf lessons with a great golf pro.
I was gonna
Um,
say, what about people like me who you do not want to see on the golf course? Will they
well,
welcome
I'm
me?
I'm one of those, Lisa.
Okay.
And
Good.
believe it or not, our little grandsons are avid golfers, even though they're 5 and 6. They have their own golf clubs and everything. And Ben was fantastic with them. My husband and I were just in awe of how good he is with children, even. And so that's a huge bonus because I feel like men or women that want to go on a golfing trip, they can go and have this great golfing trip without feeling guilty because there's so many other things for family members to do there.
That don't know how to golf, like we can go to the beach or
Yes.
something like that and do something different.
Well, yes. And it just, the list is endless. So, first of all, like I said, this is not exactly on the beach, it's right near the beach, though, like 10 minutes. They have a shuttle that takes you to their amazing golf club. I mean, not golf, yeah, beach club rather. And so when you enter, when you enter to go to the Watersound Club, Camp Creek Inn, you almost kind of go through the woods, through those beautiful tall pines we were talking about. And it's beautifully landscaped. And then there's a gate. So it's very private, very exclusive. And
Mm.
that's what the member for a stay is all about. You are getting to experience being a Watersound member by staying at Camp Creek Inn. Who's ever heard of such? So this is like a very exclusive high-end club with the best luxury amenities that you can imagine. And you get to experience this by staying at Camp Creek Inn. I've never heard of anything like it. My husband and I were just constantly blown away and impressed by what all is offered. So as you go in through the gate, you feel like you're going to this like beautiful luxury Southern country club or something, you know. The grounds are so pretty, but everything is not pretentious. Everything is just, it looks very Southern. I loved all the architecture of the buildings, and it's just beautiful.
More like a relaxed kind of retreat.
Yes.
And when
I
it's
think they call it
pretentious, that
laid back luxury, and
oh, I
that's
like that.
a good
I
way
like
to
that.
describe it. But so it's almost like a campus. The Watersound Club is. That's not a very pretty word for what it is, but that kind of describes it, because you have the golf course that kind of surrounds. You have all the beautiful tall pine trees. You have Camp Creek Inn, and then across the way, oh my gosh, it just gets better and better. There is an 11,000 square foot wellness center. It's 2 stories. It is the prettiest workout facility I've ever seen. Of course, they have the locker rooms and steam rooms, but they have all these classes, the state of the art equipment, like goes on, it looked like for days. Anything you can imagine they had there, and you can get to sign up for all the classes. And they even have classes right outside of that is an adult pool where you can do like paddleboard yoga and all these different
Oh, that's cool, because I don't know how to do it.
it.
And I would want to know, like, I would want to have like a testing spot before I go out on the ocean or
Right.
something.
Exactly. That's what I thought too. This is time to do it in a pool, not not in the ocean or in a lake.
Right.
And they even had Zumba classes in the water in their pool
I'm
there.
in.
But all of this amazing wellness facility overlooks not only that pool area, but then it's just like, wow, their main pool area is this huge, enormous resort style pool. And I hope you put one of those pictures up where you can see it is enormous. It has a lazy river in it. I think it's
Oh, we love
actually,
that.
I'm sure it's 3 different pools in one. And there's volleyball in the pool over here. And then you have these big slides. And then get this, with your member for a stay, you get to stay in any of the cabanas around, or you can stay at in one of the lounge chairs with umbrellas. You have towel service. And then they also have waiters coming around, because there's a really nice restaurant right there poolside called Bark and Brine, which is a kind of a barbecue place. You know, it's a little bit more casual. They have indoor and outdoor eating, but you have waiters coming around the pool that will get you any food from the Bark and Brine area, and they have a nice bar there.
I was going to say, do we get to have cocktails at the pool? That's what I want.
Yes, total
I want
relaxation.
a margarita. I want the margarita at the pool.
I know, and I have to tell you, their barbecue sandwiches are delicious.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a really good the poke tuna.
And you're from
salad
Texas.
bowl.
You're in Texas, so now you're like you're like discerning on this when it comes to barbecue.
Yeah, we are we're serious about our barbecue. And I tell you, they do a great job there at Bark and Brine, and you can smell it cooking too, which of course makes it even better. Outside of this amazing pool area, and I like to have never gotten my husband, my grandsons off the lazy river. They just loved it. It was so much fun. But they have a big pool house area. Past that is this big playground, like this huge, playground equipment, very, very nice. And then they have a field that you could play, baseball or softball or soccer at. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is kind of like a camp, and it's very, very multi-generational. I wanted to be sure and bring that out, because I love that. I saw that a lot.
Well,
and of course, that was us as well.
Yeah, we're in this era of multi-generational travel.
Yes,
parents,
so much fun.
Grandparents, parent their kids, and well, your family, right? It's multi-generational.
Yes, we just had
3 generations, and you could have 4 if you wanted, right?
Yes. And then past that area, then is a pro outfitters for tennis and pickleball. It gets better. I mean, I'm telling you, it just goes on and on.
Did you
And
do the
there they
pickleball? Did you do it?
did. I was so excited. I have not done that yet. And we took pickleball classes. We had a
Did you?
great instructor, and they have 8. It's very popular, you know. They have
Mhm.
8 pickleball courts there, and they have 8 tennis of that. I think it's called the hard true clay courts that are like, you know, the nicest,
The thing,
kind of like what
yeah.
they have at Wimbledon and stuff. Yeah. But anyway, the courts, I have a great aerial view of that where you can see, you know, those 16 courts there.
Wow.
And then so you have all that. And then of
Wait,
course,
I want to go back to pickleball. Was
okay.
it fun? Is it,
Oh, it was so fun. We are like
yeah,
huge fans. I like get it. You know, you hear about pickleball all the time now. And I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We loved it. And you know what's so nice? There again, it's a multi-generational sport. You don't have to have had, you know, years of lessons to do well or have fun with it. And it's something that we played and had a lot of fun with our 5 and 6-year-old grandsons.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yes.
That's cool. That's cool. So I love this multi-generational approach of this resort because I
I
think
do
we're really
too.
at that time where we need that, and we need to drop the phones and do things like pickleball and
Yes.
go get in the lazy pool without the phone. You know what I mean? It just kind of, how do
Yes.
we get families reunited? And sometimes a vacation spot like this is what it takes to kind of jolt us all out
Absolutely.
of the typical routine that needs to stop and have that connection, human connection.
I agree. And that we really were kind of screen free on this whole entire trip. First of all, there was so much to do. You didn't even want to look at a phone or a computer or anything like that. I love that one day Ron and the boys went golfing to one of their other golf courses. They have one there at Camp Creek, and then they have one that's called Shark's Tooth. I'll tell you about, and then they're building a third one, and it's called the Third. Um,
Wow.
and these are all championship 18-hole golf courses, but the Shark's Tooth is it's about a 15-minute drive away, but it is on one of those famous coastal dune lakes. Do you know about those?
No, no, no.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how many that they have there in that 30A area, but it's a lot. They have a lot. And these are very rare lakes, and they're all over the place. We have relatives there that they actually live on the dune lakes. They're it's kind of cool because you can have this waterfront property, and so many of them run into the Gulf of Mexico. They have one at the beach club that it almost looks like a little river that is like right there by the beach, which is a nice alternative if you don't want to get in the
Yeah,
Gulf of Mexico.
you might
And
find
it's
some
real shallow.
alligators, but I doubt it.
Right, but it's pretty shallow. It was actually excellent for kids, and they also have
Oh,
paddle boards and things like that
oh, cool.
that you can be in the dunes like right there by the Gulf. But at Shark's Tooth, my husband, I didn't personally go there, but my husband said that was one of the prettiest golf courses he's ever seen because it's on one of the, I think it's the largest of the dune lakes
Oh,
there, but
cool.
they're just scattered about everywhere, but they are very rare. And I think there's only 2 other places in the world that have these
Yeah.
coastal dune lakes.
I
One's
think
New
I'm just
Zealand.
used to have being around them and not ever classified them as, oh, this is a dune lake. You know what I mean? Because I know
Mm-hmm.
what you're talking about, and it's like they're like estuaries for birds and everything too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
That that's a whole travel story in itself, I think, those dune lakes. But they have a lot of those on the Camp Creek property and the
Mhm.
Watersound Club properties, and to just add so much, you know, as well. But then also at Camp Creek Inn, they have all these bicycles there that, you know, you can just get on and ride around in the area. You can, of course, there's plenty to ride on right there on the property, or you can go off of the property. However, that's one thing I wanted to say is that you honestly don't have to leave the property. You can stay right there the full week, and or however how long you're staying. We were there a week, and have everything that you want and could possibly need between that and then going over to the Watersound Beach Club or to these different golf courses. I love that. Ron and them were like, say, at the Shark's Tooth golf course, and I was back. That's when I was doing some classes there at the Wellness Center. And then we flip-flopped one day, and one day they just stayed there doing the lazy river, and I just went over to the beach, by myself, and had a little downtime and took a little nap on the beach and just relaxed. But another cool thing about it is that, when you go to the beach, you just like the hustle and bustle and all the people and all the traffic. And it can get a little stressful, actually. And that's what I loved about this. Put your car keys up. Don't even think about driving. It really is a place to just decompress and relax. And as far as going to the beach club, they have a shuttle that takes you back and forth. And I found that so relaxing, especially with kids. It's just, you can just walk right there. I mean, you just have this like campus that has any and everything.
I like that you do use the word campus, because like a campus has all these different spots that you can explore and do, like museums or, things like that too. So it's kind of like that. And I think, sometimes, getting there, we always, talk about this in travel, especially with our innkeepers and stuff. We talk about, by the time a guest arrives, they could be the most frazzled, annoyed human being, because you don't know what they've gone through on a plane trip or traffic or whatever. And by the time they get there, the last thing they want to have to do is get in a car and drive somewhere. And if kids are involved, and the kids are now uppity because it's past dinner time, they're crabby and sleepy, but they need food, it's like a mess, and everyone's crabby. And we don't want that to start off a family vacation.
Not at all.
Like, I love when you said, just, hang up the keys, go for a walk on the beach, go get an ice cream from the treats. Listen, I like the idea that you can go for a wellness retreat during the day, learn all this physical, stuff that we need to do for our bodies, and then go in and say, okay, well, I did that, so I can go have an ice cream sandwich now. I think that is perfect. And then you get to have wine on your balcony. So do all the rooms have balconies?
Not all of them do, but I think
I want one.
The majority, I prefer a balcony too. And the balconies are big and spacious. I can't stand when you have a little bitty balcony. They're big and spacious. But, talking about how that first day of travel is kind of, I don't know, it's always chaotic. I feel like that's one thing. When you, like I said, when you go through the gates, it's just like, you just take a deep breath. When you arrive at Camp Creek Inn, I loved it. They meet you and greet you by name. And get this, they hand you a cold glass of Prosecco.
What? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, you should have started with that. Like, that's the way. That's exactly it. Like, we're going beyond the towels to cool you down thing to like Prosecco.
No,
you had me at that. Like, who cares about everything else? No, kidding.
And I think they had a choice of cold water or some cold lemonade for the kids. And then they had staff there, which their staff is amazing and so friendly. But in case you didn't really know or understand everything about the member for a stay, they review it with you and just want to be sure you realize what all the amenities are and, how accessible they are to you, not to anyone else, but just to the Camp Creek Inn guests and Watersound Club members. That's it. Wow. That's how exclusive it is. I wanted to be sure and share this. This is so fun. So we had finished up at the pool one evening, and we just went over to Bark and Bryan and just put our cover-ups on and had dinner there. And they have like some big fire pits. Even though it was summer, it's still fun to be around. And we could see this beautiful sunset. And it was just so relaxing. We kind of pulled up our chairs around the fire pit afterwards. It's an enormous one, but it didn't put out a lot of heat. But it was so pretty. I just remember in my mind's eye of that beautiful fire pit and the sunset in the distance. And there's a big lawn there where they have cornhole and some other games. And
you brought up cornhole. Bring it.
So just, just some basic fun stuff that, of course, there again, you can play with all ages. And we were playing cornhole, and all of a sudden we start seeing frogs. And let me tell you, they have a lot of frogs down there.
I
which
love it.
are, so much fun for little kids. And I think I sent you one of the pictures of the
Yes,
boys chasing the frogs. Those were big toad frogs. Um, and I
that's
was
fun.
actually showing them some of the videos last night because, of course, when they realize I'm a little bit scared of frogs, they start chasing frogs. But it was so funny. We laughed and laughed. But when we would go back to Camp Creek Inn at night, the manager, I was telling him about the frogs, and the manager told me, they're like, oh, well, at night, about 8 o'clock, we start getting these little tree frogs on the windows, just on the first floor. And so you kind of have to look for them. But the manager was so sweet. He took us around and he pointed out the tree frogs on the windows there because they were a little bit, in disguise. But let me tell you, we call them, those things are hoppers or jumpers, because if you get close to them, they will jump. And I was really up close taking a video of one, and I have it all on video. He jumped on my hand. And I
That's cool.
screamed so loud, the people came out of the hotel. But the boys thought that was the funniest thing ever. And that
It
that was
is,
our nightly ritual, was to look for the tree frogs on the
but they're
windows. That
cool, and they eat all the bugs, and their little tongues come
Yes.
out and get them. And then, did you see the anole lizards, the green ones, the green anoles?
Yeah, we saw a few of those.
I
Yeah.
love those too. I love them all.
I
They're like little
yes,
geckoes.
I
Yeah.
know. Yes, yes.
And
I
she's like,
grew up with
okay,
those.
for the grandkids can play with them, but not me.
I know, I know. Yes.
I won't.
When I
I'll
was
play with them, but
growing up in southern Mississippi, my younger brother he could do this, and he would clip on. I don't know how he did it, but anyway, he could make them. They would clip onto his ears, and he would have them hanging earrings. I'm not kidding you.
see,
Yeah,
only in
yeah,
southern Mississippi, y'all.
yeah.
I'm just saying. But they're cool. They're cool. I love them. They're just because they get their little chin going and all
So
of that.
I know, and it's
They're
fun to
cute.
see them change colors. But
Wow, but this is amazing. I mean, all the things you can do as a family. And so for multi-generational plays, escapes, it seems like you don't have to do all this planning. And so many people have family reunions, and especially after COVID, right? We're all like, let's get back with our families.
yes,
And if you have the budget for this kind of thing and everyone pull in together, this would be a place to go because you don't have to plan anything. Let's,
right. And
just
you
go.
don't. And the nice thing about it, it's just so big and spacious. I have to tell you, I get a little claustrophobic sometime at some of the beach resorts. It's just, and my husband very much so. It just is too crowded and everybody's hot,
Too
and
fast and too,
it's
yeah.
just, it's not relaxing. This is the ultimate relaxation vacation. Um,
Wow. So they managed to really keep it that exclusive
oh yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
It's
And
not
and
it's not
they're not selling
overcrowded.
out, like in other words, you know what I mean? That they're
No.
actually keeping it that way because that is kind of rare to be able to just kind of go to the beach without bumping into somebody or someone bumping into you.
And with the 3 different restaurants they have, the one at the poolside I told you about, and then they have 2 inside the inn, that are both fantastic. And again, just great service, great food. They've really curated a great menu that, they said, I love this. They kind of got recipes from different regions in the South. And so I know
Oh,
you said you're
wow.
in New Orleans. They have some New Orleans kind of Cajun kind of food. They have a lot of the good, deep South foods that you would find in Southern Mississippi and Southern Alabama. And yeah, anyway, they really have encompassed all that delicious Southern food that we
Yeah,
love.
yeah.
And so we
So
certainly
does my
enjoyed the
waistline. It
food.
loves it. It it
Oh
it,
yeah.
it
And
loves
it
to
was so
expand itself. That's why
I
you have the
think I
pool.
had the best French toast I've ever had in my life there at
Ooh.
the A&R restaurant. It was so delicious. But let me tell you about the Watersound Beach Club, because my husband, just his jaw dropped. He just could not believe it. Before I went, I researched it and I had seen pictures, so I kind of knew, but my husband had not. And he was like, Terry, are you kidding me? This is unbelievable. So, like I said, you can take the shuttle. And there again, you just are out of the hustle and bustle of all that crowded beach scene, just because this is so exclusive. But when you pull up, it looks, it looked a little bit more New England architecture, is what came to mind when we were there. But it's big in itself. There's two big buildings, and you walk in and you get checked in, but they have two different restaurants and two bars there. They have a teens club that's kind of like an arcade, and they have two swimming pools. And there again,
Wow.
you have the loungers with umbrellas and cabanas and towel service. But that's all beautiful, and it's just a little ways off of the beach. So what you're seeing mostly, you really have a good view of the beautiful sugar sand beach
Oh,
dunes,
which they
and
do have there.
all the
Oh,
different topography of those. They look like big snow mounds, really, but with those gorgeous,
yeah.
very coveted sea oats. And it has this big boardwalk that kind of winds through the
That's one of
sand
my
dunes.
favorite parts of the photos that I saw. I was like, oh, I want to do the
Yes, isn't
boardwalk.
that
I love
cool?
that.
And if you don't want to walk that, they have golf carts that run back and forth that can give you a ride as well. When you get to the end of the boardwalk, there it's like kind of like a concierge there that will greet you. There's a bar also right there, which is
I can have
very
a
convenient.
margarita at the beach, like
It's so
literally.
convenient, yes.
Yes, that
And
is.
and when you get to the area where I said it's kind of like the concierge, they have the towels there, and then they ask you where you would like to sit. I'm like, I just couldn't believe it. They already have the beach chairs and umbrellas set up, and they take you to wherever you would like to sit and enjoy the beach for the day.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Because normally we're dragging our cooler,
Oh,
dragging the kids, dragging all the toy, like you're
yeah, it's
dragging the
exhausting doing that.
and by the time you get there, it's like, no, this is
I know.
okay. Okay, so this is just
It's
drive in. You
unbelievable.
can fly in very easily,
Very
get a
easily.
Uber or whatever, rent a car, whatever
Uh-huh.
to get there. And then just like you said, hang your car keys up or don't even bring your car keys and just get on with it.
You don't need a car. You do not need a car. That's why if you're going to fly, we drove
Hmm.
because we were making some stops along the way down to Florida to see family. But I have flown many times into the Panama City Beach Airport
Oh yeah,
there.
yeah.
I think they call it Northwest Florida.
Hmm.
Sure about the name right off the top of my head, but the one in Panama City, and that's the closest one to Camp Creek Inn. It's 25 minutes, so you can easily get a Uber
Oh
or
yeah.
some type of shuttle service to take you there, so you don't have to bother with a car. And I even believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that the shuttle there at Camp Creek Inn will also take you to some of the areas nearby if you want to go shopping or something like that.
Mm.
um they're they are at your service,
Well,
no.
the shopping in that area is epic too. I mean, the whole
Mhm.
Gulf Coast, like that whole, there's shopping galore. You can get yourself into big trouble in
You
that
could. They have
region.
so many beautiful shops and restaurants, and so many of those cute different little villages, really little towns along
Hmm.
30A. There's so much to do there. And I've, on a side note, I have to tell you that I lived there back in the 80s. My husband was a fighter pilot at Eglin Air Force Base, and we
Okay, we
were,
know Eglin. Yep, we used to live there in the
yes.
early '90s. We lived there,
Oh, is that right?
mid '90s. Yeah, Panama City Beach, Fort Walton, Navarre, and then Pensacola. That whole,
Right. Yes. And my
I've,
first job I
and then
had was actually with the Fort Walton Beach Destin Chamber of Commerce.
no way.
Yes, it sure was. And you can imagine how from that time period, that was in the mid 80s till now, how much we have seen and just been
The growth is
flabbergasted at
massive.
the growth and
Yeah,
development.
but
There
this
was
is but
nothing out there
well,
back
the
when we
last
lived
time we
there.
were there was a year ago. We go through there a lot, and I like fell over backwards, jaw drop, like what happened? Like it's
I
so
know.
grown, right? But that's the beauty of what you're talking about, with Camp
Yes.
Creek Inn being secluded because it's gotten busy. Let's just put it that way.
And that Highway
It's
98,
popular. Yeah.
especially in the summer, it can just be bumper to bumper. So it's like you get to Camp Creek Inn. That's why I say you really don't want to go anywhere, because
Yeah.
just enjoy just
Enjoy what you
sanctuary
came there
that
for.
they have
Yeah, it is like a
created.
sanctuary. It's a
Hmm.
and multi-generational is again so great. But I mean, even, you could take your one of the days and go bumper to bumper around and have fun out there because there is. But if
You
it's
could,
for your
yeah,
beach time and all of that, go stay at the sanctuary, the Camp Creek Inn. But if you want to explore restaurants and shops and maybe some of the museums and things like that and attractions, cool. But
absolutely can.
you
Like
don't,
we did
yeah.
go out one night, took the boys out one night, and that was fun just for a change of scenery, but it's not necessary. But there are things available if you want it. I was going to tell you just one more thing that I just am really impressed about with the Watersound Beach Club is that their beach is a private beach and it's 1 mile long.
Oh, nice. Very
One
nice.
mile long, yes, of that beautiful,
White
emerald
sand.
green
Yeah.
turquoise water, and then those sugar sand beaches, and then you've got all those sand dunes. And if you get tired of the beach, our boys would love to go back to one of the pools there. One of the pools there actually has a lazy river as well, so we were going back and forth from the beach, to the pools, and then our last night there, I believe we finished. They have a restaurant that is on the second floor. It's all open air, and so you have a perfect view of the Gulf
Oh,
and the sunsets. That was
that's
a
awesome.
really nice way to end our trip. And then, of course, we went back to Camp Creek and looked for frogs.
I love it. I love it. Everyone go to campcreekin.com again. Terri's article is listed and linked in the episode notes, and it's up on blendradioandtv.com. And you can also keep up with Terri. Go to Terri, I was going to say travelwithterri.com and follow her there. She's on social media everywhere. And another awesome member of the International Food Wine Travel Writers Association. How long have you been a member? You've been there for a few years now, huh? I think we
Yes,
met
and
when you
I
first
just
started.
right, just a couple of years, actually. Didn't know about. I
Yeah.
was in Lafayette, Louisiana, with one of their longtime
Oh,
members,
cool.
and she told me about it. And her name is Stacy. She's from Flagstaff, Arizona.
Oh, Stacy Wittig. Yeah, we love
Yes,
Stacy.
yes, and she and I were on a fun Cajun country trip
Yeah.
there in Lafayette, and I loved Stacy, and she was telling me all about the IFWA, and I was very intrigued, and I'm so glad that I joined, and I have met so many other great travel writers and people like yourself, and it's just opened up the doors of many opportunities for me.
That's awesome. Everyone, IFWTWA.org is the website to go to. Thanks again, Terri. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
Happy
thank you, Lisa.
travels.
Thank you.
Happy
You
tra-
too. You too. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio's Food, Wine, and Travel Show featuring members of the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. We encourage you to visit their website. We say IFTWA, which is IFWTWA.org. You can also follow us at bigblendradio.com. Happy travels, everyone.